Hey, what's up, guys? Joshua Dayrit here with Ignite PPC. If you're new to the channel, our channel is specifically focused on scaling real estate investors, wholesalers to doing over 100K per month with inbound marketing. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about PPC landing page optimization and how you can set up your landing pages to make sure that you're going to convert at the highest rate possible. So this is what we're focused on in 2025, going into 2026 for all of our clients, and what really matters to make sure your site's going to convert, right? So I have a few sites up that, by the way, we'll like kind of look at them live together and identify like what's wrong with them. But let's go through this guide first, and I want to talk about the three main things that we're really focusing on, for landing pages when you're doing PPC to generate motivated seller leads. So number one, page structure is everything. So above the fold is basically everything that's important on your website. So what above the fold is essentially, like you can see this here, this whole section, before me scrolling down, is the above the fold section, right? So that's the above the fold section. It's super important for that section to be very legible. So it should be very clear, outcome driven. Should have like a supporting headline. So we want to give our like unique selling proposition. We want to have a call to action, and we would like to, have a clear, legible form. Very good. We do want to have a little bit of, like credibility or trust badges on the website. So ideally, we have them below, just at the very bottom of the below the fold section. So we'll talk about that. And basically, the key thing here is that the individual who's on the website can see everything that they need to know without scrolling, right? Really important. Number two is going to be mobile fast optimization or mobile first optimization. So we want to focus on websites that will convert really well on both obviously desktop and mobile, but mobile is so much more important than desktop in 2025 going into 2026, because so many people who are using Google and so many people who are searching for stuff online these days are not doing it from a desktop. They're doing it from their phone. Okay. So for PPC, majority of the traffic, I don't know. I'd have to pull the data on this. This is, I think, a little off. Um, yeah, I think when we were writing this and going through it, this is wrong. But I would say like definitely like 60 to 70% of the traffic is going to be mobile. Maybe a little bit more at some point. If you put a bid modifier on your traffic source, you can even, dictate if you get more mobile or less mobile. Mobile is definitely the majority of the traffic. Really heavy mobile. So Google ranks and evaluates pages based on mobile first experiences rather than desktop, and then it does desktop second. Okay. We'll get through this a little bit later. Again, like you guys can message me if you want this SOP. And then this third thing is basically page speed. And then this this is probably the most important one out of the three. It's not the most important, but it's just super important, is that it impacts your cost per lead in really three ways. Number one, if you have a high bounce rate because your page is slow to load, that means that somebody loads onto your page, doesn't load fast enough, and then they leave. So you already paid for that click, and they never even got to see what you were, going to be offering them. You'll have a lower conversion rate, and then you'll also have a lower quality score, which will lead to a higher cost per click, right? So I'll talk about the benchmarks we want to aim for. This should say 95, really. So we'll go through and I'm going to show you these, pages here on a second. There's a few fixes here on like what you can do to increase your page speed, make things faster. Again, if you want to see the document, you can go ahead and just message me. But let's go ahead and take a look at some actual websites that I pulled up just by doing a basic Google search. So number one, before I show you guys the websites, all these sites were they were shown on ads, but I did not click on the ad. I just typed in the URL directly because I don't want to click on anybody's ad and cost them money. Okay. So really important that you guys know that, and how you're out here clicking on people's ads. Okay, cool. So the first one that I had seen is, I'm going to go from like worst to best, is this one called Blue Door Property Group, right? As you can see, this is the desktop view. It's, this is the above the fold section. There's not really a unique selling proposition. It just says fast property solutions for you. There is a call to action. It says talk with us, but I don't see the form. I don't know how to actually I don't see a phone number. I don't see an easy way to contact them based on this. It's all the way down here at the bottom. They got to, somebody's got to scroll way down. So if we're looking at this on mobile, right, which in this case, this is the iPhone view, you can see this button and it takes them there, but there's not really, once I click that, there's not much I can do after that. So there's not a very clear path forward for somebody to submit their information. So this is more than likely having a very slow conversion rate. The other thing is that here on, if I take this and go to Google PageSpeed Insights, we're going to take a look at how this actually performs based on what Google says with their page speed, stuff like that. So let's let this load here. All right, it's going, but it's taking a little bit. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I'm clicking around. So you can see their mobile optimization is at 64% out of 100, and then their desktop is at 87. Here, ultimately, this tells me that this background picture, this here largest content, full paint, this background imaging and pictures on the back are creating the website to be extremely slow. So this is going to lead to higher cost per click, lower quality score, and ultimately more expensive leads, right? So like this page definitely needed a lot of work. And yeah, it just needs a lot of work. So let's move on to the next one. This next one is local home buyers. This is California's top buyer since 2005. I don't dislike the above the fold section. So like this is the above the fold section. They have some clear, unique selling proposition, right? Or we'll say call out, and then this is a call out California's top buyer since 2005. Their unique selling proposition: we buy real estate, both single family and apartment complexes, to improve our communities. And then a call to action, over here that says get my cash offer. They also have these little credibility badges, which look solid. So let's take a look at it on mobile. And you guys should be able to see here how it looks on mobile. The only problem I have with it is that it's kind of hard to read with the background. So like they have a little tiny phone number up here. You can see this. They have these, which I don't really like at the top. It's not super friendly. Right, it's just not super friendly. You scroll up. And I would just like to see this be a little bit clearer. They also don't have any space between this and the credibility badges. So I really just want to fix this section a little bit to make it a little nicer. I'd maybe remove these, create a little bit of contrast between the text and the background image, and then put a little bit of space between this and the form, and make it to where the form is completely visible on this first page. So let's go ahead and actually just take a look at this and see how it's performing on PageSpeed Insights. Let's take a look here. While it's loading, let's just wait for a second. This is telling me that it's probably going to be a little bit on the slower end. So we'll have to wait and see. Actually, yeah, it looks like this has really good performance. So 95% out of 100, very quick on phones, which is solid. Desktop, same thing, loads really fast. So overall, like I give this one a grade of like a B, right? If or like an 8 out of 10, in my opinion. It just needs to clean up a little bit of things on the hero section or the above the fold section. Okay. So let's jump onto the next one here. Reword cash offers, need to sell your house fast in Sacramento. Here's the call out, unique selling proposition, call to action. we buy houses in any condition, so on. They have a little credibility badge here, which is good. Down here at the bottom too. And yeah, it's very simple. This is a little hard to read at the top here, so I maybe want to make these a little bit easier to read. Or even like create a different background between this hero image on the back and like the top of the website, not the header of the website. Sorry, I forgot what it was called for a second. That's like my only feedback here. But overall, like, this is very clear. It's very, like, straightforward. I know what's going on. If I'm a seller, I know how to give them my information. On mobile, here it is again. So on mobile, I'm not a huge fan of how big the text are. It's like just super, super massive text. I want to make this a lot smaller. Maybe decrease the margin here a little bit, and then make sure I can see the full form. Same thing. Maybe make the text here a little bit smaller, and make the phone number a little bit more legible. So maybe I put this little call list button up here, make this smaller, decrease the margin, make this form fully legible, and then boom, we got a working one. So this one I'm also going to give a 8 out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 on that one. So we're not going to do the page speed insights on that one. We're just going to keep going through these. We got 2 more that I'm going to knock out. This one looks solid. We buy houses in California. No credibility badges, which I think would help the conversion a little bit. It's very clean. It just asks for 1 piece of contact information. So I'm not in love with that, because what happens is somebody will submit their address here. And then usually every time there's a page redirect on a website, there's about a 15 to 20% drop off in traffic. So if I enter my information here and I click get your offer, what happens is that between the time of me clicking that and then entering my information on this page here, I'm going to probably fall off, right? Like, I'm not going to continue submitting my information, which is important. Okay. So this one on mobile, let me take a look here. This one on mobile looks solid, right? Very clear call to action, call out USP, call to action is very clear. Phone number is very accessible. I just wish that I can see a little bit. I would want to collect more information without doing the redirect on this page. At least capture, in addition, if you're just going to try to do address, try to do phone number as well. So that way you at least have their phone number. But overall, it's a good looking website. I think the one thing I did see on this that I would want to maybe fix is here. I think the page speed is a little bit slow. It could be my internet. Last time I said that the other page did really well, but it may need some work. So let me see how it pulls up here. We'll give it a minute. All right, so you can see this one's really slow, 52% out of 100. The background image is just killing the page speed on this, absolutely making it very, very slow. So this is like a huge impact on their performance, right? Like, they got the structure down, that's decent, but the actual landing page build out in terms of the page speed and making sure that loading time is good is very, very poor. So this is going to definitely impact quality score, which is going to lead to a higher cost per lead, higher cost per click, which will lead to a higher cost per lead. And it's just going to be they could definitely drop their CPL by just making their landing page better, right? So this one I give like I want to say like 7 out of 10, because this is like a B minus, because it's just so it's well structured, but it's so slow on Google's platform here. Okay. Next one I have is this one here, Dayrit Home Buyers. It's a good looking site, right? I do like a few things here. So we have our call out, right? We have USP and then our call to action. All of it's very clear. They don't got a bunch going on, and it just it looks pleasant to the eye. I also know like this form does draw my attention. I have a little bit of a credibility badge. Maybe I would want to make this a little bigger, or find other ways that I can put it here where it's not overwhelming. Let's take a look at it on mobile, right? So this one is. Oh, let me click on deny there. This one on mobile is actually structured very well. So it says no repairs, no cleaning, no stress, sell your as is. We can see the entire form. We can see their credibility. This is a very well done landing page. I would say on mobile, if they just move this up a little bit, right? They move this up here, it would be even better. They just remove this little Google thing on YouTube, on Google, and then move this up. It will do a little bit better. But overall, the above the fold section or hero section of this is really well done. I would give this landing page so far, before seeing the page speed, like almost a 10 out of 10. I would say like 9.5 out of 10. Only other thing I don't like about this is there's no phone number button. Maybe that's for a reason. Maybe they don't want phone calls. And then the second thing is I do like to see, instead of a page redirect, at least capturing address and phone number, and more information, right? So overall, though, solid job on whoever built this. Let's take a look at the page speed, and we can see how it performs. Let's try again. This one loaded really, really fast. It's not giving me the page speed for some reason. Let me refresh this. Okay, here it is. So yeah, actually this one specifically on desktop, it does really, really well. And then they have some performance issues on mobile. So based on this information, the background image needs to be condensed. You can use WordPress Rocket to help, condense this and make this smaller. If they get this down, this is the biggest lever for them to increase their page speed score with Google. They could definitely get a higher quality score than what they're getting now. But overall, I think they got a solid page and it's going to perform. I'd still give this one like a 9.5, right? Even with the performance issue. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you found value in this and if you want this document, I'm going to make some tweaks to the document, make sure it's 100% corrected before I send it to anybody. But if you want the document, you can just DM me on Instagram personally, reach out for it, and I'll send it over. If you're interested in, figuring out a little bit more of like, hey, how do I have PPC done for me, or how do I find somebody to work with? Of course, we do it for teams, for, a lot of really high level guys, and we do a phenomenal job at it. So if you want to talk to somebody on our team or myself, you can just book a call with the link in the description below. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.